Getting the flu. You say you gave me flu via Wi-Fi.
Ah, you.
Yeah. Okay, let's start.
Definitely.
Let's continue where we left off. So we're about to do movements. So let's do that.
Yeah.
So let's go back to our code. I'm gonna need a function for movements, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to return a void because all I'm doing is just moving the player. I'm not getting back anything. So move player, right?
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna call it move player. It takes in a game world, rec world, right? And since we're moving the player, that means I'm changing values, right? So since I'm changing values, I'm gonna pass it by address. So I'm gonna use the address of operate. I'm gonna pass it by reference
Oh.
because I need to make these changes that I'm going to make that they need to be permanent. So that's why. And then I'm gonna implement it here in my namespace. And okay, the movement, right? I need to take in the movement. I forgot. I need to take in a movement there. So I'm gonna take in E. Did I call it movement or just, oh yeah, just movement. E move. Yeah. It's gonna take in a move. So it's either the
The
user's
enum,
moving. Um,
is it the enum that you created?
yeah, it's the enum that I created. Remember, movement. It has all of these movements. So it's gonna take that as the input. So I'm gonna have movement E move, right?
Mm.
So let's start. So I need to do what I need to do here, right? Before we, okay, let me say move drone, not player. Uh, yeah, I keep using player. It's not player, it's a drone. So the drone, right? Um, when you move something right in our game mode, we need to
Mm.
keep track of two things. I need to keep track of its
Wait,
destination. Where is it?
why
Basically, I beg your pardon?
why is it movement e move? You are naming it e move.
Yeah, emove. E is it's an abbreviation for it's a prefix for enum, so that I know it's an enum.
Or
I
this
put
movement e move.
yeah, just like with rec world, I have a prefix rec to to
Oh.
to 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 remind myself that this is a record structure.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's see. As I was saying, I'm gonna need to keep track of two coordinates when I'm moving something. When I'm moving a feature in my game. I'm gonna need its previous location and its destination location. So for example, I have this, right?
Yeah.
I have my game world. There's this empty space, right? And then let's say there's a player there. So let's say I want to move the player here, up and right. I want to move the player to this coordinate. So that means at that coordinate, I need to update the row, this current row, and the current column, set in such a way it points me to that location, right? Remember what we're doing in the previous session.
Yeah.
So after I've made those changes, I have that coordinate, and then I use those coordinates to set that to a P, right, to a player, so that the play, which basically indicates that the player has moved to that location. I need to change that location to a P or to a D. Remember, we're using a D
The day it
for
drone.
drone. Yeah, if we're using a D for drone. But you see the problem now. How many Ds do I have in the game?
True.
Two. So it becomes a problem. I know the destination. There's the destination. I know it, right? I was storing it. I was storing it. So if I don't store the destination, you're gonna have this problem of having plenty
True.
plenty players in the game without changing, without updating its previous location. So that's why I'm gonna need the int d row and int d column, because those two are gonna help me to store the destination of where I'm going without updating the player's or that feature's current previous location. And because if I update it, I'm going to lose track of it, right? I won't know what it was. So now I'm going to end up having too many players in the game. So let's say the drone is moved there, right? Now it's here, right? And I want it to move here. When I move it there, what's going to happen? It's going to change, right, to a D. But I still haven't updated this. I still haven't changed that. I also still haven't changed this. So now you have many players in your game. Now you're not even sure where you've moved to, because now there's just so many players in the game. That's why I need to keep track of where it's going and where it was. Those are the two things. How do I keep track of where it was, this position? I keep track of I keep track of it by using its current location. That's going to be its previous. And then I'm going to use the destination, two destination variables, because remember each value it's stored in a specific coordinate. So I'm going to need a row and a column. So I'm going to create two variables for the destination, right? The destination row and the destination column. And then initially it's going to start at the player's location, because remember, what are we moving? We're moving this player. So I'm going to need its current location and store that into that variable, int d row and int d column. And then I update int d row and int column so that I can move to that specific location without altering the original coordinate, because I'm going to need this coordinate so that once I've moved like this, right, I go back to its previous location and then I change that to an empty space like this. So now I have one player in my game. And then if I move again, I'm going to do the same thing. If I move again to here, I go back to its previous location, which is this one, and then I change that to an empty space. So I need to keep track of two things at once, its destination and its previous location. So its previous location, it's its current location. And remember, its current location, we've stored it inside a what? A record structure. So it's inside the record structure, the game world record structure. And I reference it using the drone variable. And then after saying drone, remember this drone is what? Is its own record structure. I'm gonna say dot int that drone's row and int dot drone dot int column, and that drone's column. So this is going to be the drone's previous location. It's going to act as its previous location, because remember, after updating, right, after moving the player, let's say the player was there, right, and then I move it here. I move the drone there. This location, is it still the current, or it's not the previous?
The previous.
It's now the previous, right? Even though at the beginning it was currently at that index. So it's going to behave as like the previous. So this drone's current location is going to act as its previous location. Yeah. So now I'm going to store it. I'm going to say int d row, destination row. Initially, it's at the drone's current location. I don't want to update the drone's current location, because if I update this, what's going to happen? I'm going to lose track of where it was before it moved. So now I can't update where it was to an empty space. It's going to become a problem. Now I'm going to have many Ds in my game. Let's say the destination the drone wants to move there. That changes to a D. It wants to move there. That changes to a D. You see the problem? You start having many Ds in your game. You start having many players in your game. But initially, it's going to start at that drone's location, which makes sense because initially it starts at that location and then it moves, right? So it starts at that location, which is the drone's current location. That's where it starts. And then I update those values and get a new, and then I get the actual destination. So it's going to be record.drone.int column. There we go. And it's easier for me to find the drone, right? Because remember, I'm storing it in a record structure. So it's easier for me to keep track of it. I don't need to create the function that finds its location. If you hadn't done it like this, you'd have to create that void find
Play.
drone or find player. You would have to create it.
Oh, if you're
Yeah.
using this thing, the structure, you don't have to like use it.
Yeah, you don't. You see, it's stored. Remember that is stored. Remember when you're creating the game world, right? Here, didn't you store it?
Yeah, you start.
Exactly. So I don't have to worry about where the player is because I actually know where the player is. I stored its location, the drone's location. So now, let's move, right? Let's find the desired row and column. Basically, the destination row and column. How do I do that? I look at the movements here, this movement that I'm taking in. Check that movement. I'm gonna use the switch statement and say, check this. And with the beauty of switch statement, right? You're just using a constant. You're using an enum. So you don't have to worry about uppercase to lower to up. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just take in this movement. That's all. You just say is equal check for move. What movement is going to be passed here? And then I'm gonna have cases, right? So case one, let's say it took in move up. If it took in move up, what should happen? It should move up. Okay, give me a second. There's a spider here. Hey. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
killing it?
Yeah, I'm killing it. Hey, I'm afraid of spiders. I don't play like that. Yeah, that's one thing in this world that scares me. It scares me more than I scare my own more than I'm afraid of it more than I'm afraid of my own parents. Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, spiders, they don't play around.
But I
So
think
let's
they're
you think
harmless.
they are harmless if only you could speak to them, if you only could understand their language. Tollywood, it's like, away, brah, I see you're pushing code, you're tutoring there. How is it? Let me see. And then that's what it's saying, right? And then you see it coming to you like, it's coming to eat me, this one. And then you start using Doom, you start praying, you start doing all of those things. Yeah, if you're
Harmless.
able to speak its language, then maybe would be friends with animals. So let's continue. Case, right? So it's gonna take in that movement. Remember a movement. When I say movement, I use the data type as the name of the enum. It means that when I call inside of my main.cpp, it's going to be like this. This is what it means. It's going to
So
be okay, like this, move player, right? And then it's going to take in a record structure followed by a movement. Let's say the movement is move up like this, and then it's gonna have another movement, move down, another one move up and right, another one move down and left, and so forth. That's what I mean. So when I say it should take in that parameter, I mean it should take in any it should accept as a second parameter anything that's of this type. It's of type movement. So that's why I'm saying case move up, because I know by default it's gonna take in those movements. Move up, move down, move left, and so forth. So if it's move up, right? Let's check. What did you say? Moving up, it's the row minus minus. And what should I update? I'm updating the destination row. This one. Remember, if I update this, I'm gonna lose track of the previous location. So I'm gonna create a temporary variable called destination row, and it's going to store the current drones or the current player's location, right? Then I only update the copy, not the original that's here. That's what I'm
okay.
trying to avoid. So I'm just going to say int d row, the copy, right? Minus minus, and then break. And then I'm gonna have case move left. Let's just say move left. Moving left, it's going to be okay. Let's do move right. I want to do it in that sequence. move right. We said it's going to be what? Int column plus plus. And the column is int dcol plus plus. And then I break. Break just basically means that it's the end of this case. Don't continue comparing any further. It's the end. That's what break is for. If you don't put the break, it's gonna keep comparing for everything and your program is gonna crash. So that break is important. And then I'm gonna have move, I think it was move left after right. Yeah, left. So it's going to be int column minus minus. So it's int d column minus minus. And then break. And then you're gonna have case move down. What is moving down? It's int row plus plus. Int d row plus plus. And then I'm gonna break. Now we have the diagonals. So it's gonna have move up and left. I think starts at left. Let's see. Yeah, move up and left. So I subtract both the row and the column. So it's going to be int d row. And then on a new line, int d column, subtract it. Okay, I forgot to subtract them. And then you're gonna have a break. So if you look at the diagonals, right? That's why I'm gonna call it. That's why I usually call it move up and left, because if you look at the formula, it's technically doing that. So let's find out what is moving up. What is moving up? It's what? Int d row minus minus. Where is it? Int d row minus minus. What is moving left? How do you move left? It's int dcol minus minus. There is int dcol minus minus. So since technically I'm doing both, that's why I even say and. So I'm doing both. I'm moving up and moving left. That's why I give it such names. So it makes it easier for me to know the formula. So I'm gonna have case move up and right. Right, up and right, yeah, up and right. So you subtract the row and add the column. Subtract the row and add the column. Then break, and then you're gonna have case move down and left. Move down and left. Now it's vice versa. Add the row, subtract the column. Add the row. Come on. Add the row. Add the row. Subtract the column. Then break. Then case move down and right. So it's plus plus for both. So int d row plus plus, int d col plus plus. And then you're gonna have break statement there. We are done finding the coordinates, right? So now what you need to fix is we need to create a function that returns a Boolean, right? This function is gonna check if the movement that we've made is still within the world, because you can find a row and a column that's outside of the world. So it's crucial that we check that this movement that we've made, is it still within the row? Is this still within my game world or not? So I'm gonna pass in a game world because I want to access the rows and columns, right? So I'm gonna pass in the record structure game world and the coordinates. So it's the destination row and the destination column where I've moved to. If I moved into a location that's outside of my world, that's what I'm trying to find out. So return a truth value, right? So return true or false, right? So let's see, return true or false. Let's start with the row. So if the destination row is greater than or equals to, it's strictly it's greater than or equal to 0. So it's at least 0 and upwards, right? and we restrict its stopping point. It's less than the number of rows in my world, right? It's less than the number of rows, and the number of rows can be accessed using this variable, because remember, we're dealing with record structure. So every time I want to access something, I use that variable and say dot, and then I access the thing, that information that I want to access. And then I'm going to put brackets here so that it actually knows. Okay, I placed them in the wrong place. They need to be here and then here, like this, right? Okay, so this is going to be a very long Boolean expression, but I'm gonna need extra brackets here. So brackets for this, and then I need brackets for that, and then semicolon. And now we look at the what column. So evaluate the column and check if it is okay, I also need to add extra brackets. Make sure that it's greater than or equals to 0. And it is int d column. It is less than the number of columns. I think everything should be fine. Okay, I'm missing an extra bracket there. So yeah, it's a bit longer when you have a record structure. You see, it's a bit long, but yeah, it's still doing the same thing. So check this row if it's greater than or equals to 0. So what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen is going to check this first part, right? Check, return a truth value. So we're doing logic here. That's all we're doing. Is it greater than or equals to 0? If it is, it's going to return a truth value. Let's say it is true, right? It's going to return true. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's going to return true. And then there's going to be an end here. So I'm going to translate it in logic, the way you know it in logic. And then it's going to check here, is it less than the number of rows? If it is, then it's going to return true, right? And then package this into one condition, right? And then I'm going to have another end there. Check, is the destination column where I've moved to, is it at least 0? If it is, then return a truth value, true or false. And then followed by an end, right? So I'm going to write the end like this. And then you're going to have the destination column, is it less than the columns? If it is, it's going to be true, right? So now we're going to have this truth value. We have this truth value, right? So now let's evaluate it. So what is true and true? Remember the end, it's only true when both are true.
Yeah.
So it's going to return what? A true here. And then you still have that end there. And then true and true, it's the same, still true. Because the end states that it's only true if both conditions are true. And then we are left with this one. True and true. What does that evaluate to? It's both true, so it evaluates to true. So it does all of that behind the scenes. I'm just showing you what happens. So let's say one of them is incorrect. Let's say the destination row is not at least 0. So let's say we generated a negative value, a negative row. So it's going to say false. False and true, what does that evaluate to? It evaluates to false. And then let's say this one is true, the column is true. False and true, what does it evaluate to? It's false. So if it evaluates to false, I don't make any movements. I don't do anything because you're outside of the world. That's all it does behind the scenes. So we don't need to know what the truth value should be, but you just need to write a formula that's going to check whether something is within the world. How do you check if it's within the world? We check if the destination row, this is what we're doing. This part, the return, this is what we're doing. I'm just checking. It's like I'm asking this question. Is the destination row between 0 and int rows minus 1. That's all I'm checking. That's what I'm doing there. It's going to return a truth value, true or false. And then the other question is the destination column between 0 and int calls minus 1. So it's going to return a truth value here and then also return a truth value here. And then compare both of them. Because remember, both truth values need to be true in order for me to place. Because if one of them is incorrect, let's say the row is -1, I can't place because both of them need to be within the world. So that's why I have the end here. When I start checking for the column, I have an end. If one of them needed to be at least correct, I would use the or. Because in logic, it says that at least the one of the identities need to be true. In this case, both are required to be true because in order to place a feature, I need a row and a column. I need both. I don't need one of them. So we have that checks if the movement that I've made is within the world, right? So I'm gonna do that. So the way it works, right? The way you use this function, how would you check if it's equals to true? You would say if is in world like this, right? And then you pass in that record structure, which you call it rec world. It's rec world, right? Comma, the destination row and the destination column, entity column. So I know most of you guys will do it like this. So that it's going to return true or false, right? So most of you will say is equals to true, right? Something like this. So if it's equals to true, then you're gonna move the player. Because the player is, if it returns a true overall, what does that mean? That means everywhere it's true. That means everywhere it's true. So the way you write in programming, right, in abbreviation, you don't need to say is equals to true. You can abbreviate the is equals to true and just write it like this. And just say if is, it returns a Boolean expression, right? If is, and remember a if statement only executes if the condition is true. So basically what we're saying if this function returns a true without having to say is equals to, without having to do that. That's what we're saying. If you pass any Boolean expression here, what you're saying is that if it is true, that's what you're saying. So basically, if it is true that I'm within the world, then what? You move the player. So now I'm going to move the player. How do you move the player? Remember, we have the destination row and the destination column. So I'm going to move the player to that destination. So I'm going to have rec world, and then I access my two-dimensional array in my record structure, and then I index in the two-dimensional array by using the destination values, because I've generated a destination row and a destination column, a destination location basically. So I'm going to set that destination to be a drone, because I want to move the drone. Remember, the purpose of this function is to move the drone. Yeah. So now, after moving the drone, remember I need to avoid this. Let's say I've moved the drone here. It's going to be D, right? I need to replace its previous location. But before we do that, I want you to see this thing in action if I don't replace the previous. You see here, all I've done, I've moved to that destination. I didn't take into account its previous location. So let's do that. Let's just move. Okay. Oh yeah, I still need to change my main. Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to change. So let's see. I also need to change my output, my display world function. I forgot to put after displaying the game, I forgot to output the main. So A is to, wait, is it A? No, W, I'm going to say is to move up, and then end line. And then A is to move left, right? And then end line. And then D is to move right to move to the right. And then moving down, we're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna say X, and then Q, I'm gonna use it for quitting. So I'm gonna say X is to move down. Wait, I need to move up, and
Right.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let me try to change it. Let me say S is for moving down. The character S is for moving down. And then now we need to move up and left, and then up and right. So up and left, I'm gonna use that for Q. So I'm just gonna, let's say we're just gonna say X is gonna be for exit. So move up and left, that's Q. And line. And then I'm gonna have where is it? I'm gonna move up and right. So I'm gonna use E for that. Move up and right and line. And then you're gonna have move down, right? So we're moving down now. So we said move down. So I'm gonna use C. Okay, let me say Z. This is going to be move down and left. And then you're gonna have C. Let's use C. It's going to be move down and right. And then end line. And then, okay, we need the option for exiting. X is going to be exit the program. Then end line. So we have that. So we need to fix this, right? There's a lot we need to fix here. So I'm gonna need those variables for keeping track while is true. So I'm gonna need BLN continue is equals to true. And then I'm gonna need char ch input, which gets the input from the user as a character. Because remember, if you check our print world, you see it's characters. All of these are characters. So I'm going to store that input as a character. And then I'm going to have a do while. It's going to run at least once. So it runs before checking the condition. That's what the do while is for. So while BLN continue, remember BLN continue is a placeholder for true. What I'm saying is that while it's true, that's what I'm saying. But I need to store it so that I can be able to change it when it's time to exit. So within this function, this while loop, I'm going to print, right, first. And then after printing, I get user input. So get the movement, basically. Get the movement. So it's going to be C in and store the movement inside CH input. So it's going to follow the same procedure as, what is this? Same procedure as string stream. So it's going to check what the user has typed here. Remember, it's going to be a string by default. It's going to check, are they of the same type? If they're not, it's going to convert it to be the type of what's on the right. What's the type of what's on the right? It's a character. So it's going to convert it to a character and then store it inside this variable. So, okay, before I forget, I'm gonna need the pause function. Yeah, there's a lot of things that didn't put here. I need to start putting those things now. So I'm gonna need the pause function. When the user enters an incorrect option, we're gonna need that pause function. So I'm just gonna put it here. Pause. So I'm going to cin.ignore. So ignore the first 100 characters, and the delimiter is going to be a new line. That's going to be the delimiter. I think it should be singular. No? Yeah, it should be singular. Single quotes, and then you're gonna output and tell the user to press enter to continue. Press enter to continue. Then end line, semicolon, and then cin.get. Cin.get. And yeah, let's do the switch statement, right? Switch statement to lower. I'm writing tau lower, to lower ch input, right? So let's check this. So if it's case A, and then break. What is case A? Is to move. Okay, let's start with W. Case W is to move up, right? So I'm gonna call the move player. I didn't call it player, it's
Move
moved wrong.
from.
Hey, yeah, rec world. It takes in the rec world and the movement. So this movement is moving up. So move up like that. And then I'm done. Then I'm gonna copy this. And then I'm gonna have case move left. So I'm gonna have A. And then this one, just change that to move left. And then break. And then case B. Then paste this. Move to the right. And then you're gonna have break. And then you're gonna have case move down. Down is S, so S. Then move down. And then break. And then case move up and left. So it's going to be Q. Then move up and left. And then break. Then you're gonna have case E, move up and right. So move up and right. And then you're gonna have case, we're moving down now. Case Z is to move down and left. Moving down and left, right? And then I'm gonna break. Yeah, this is a lot. Move, what do we need to, what character did I use here? I said X. Did I say X for moving down and right? Let me double check. Down and right. Wait, where is it? It's in the print mode, right? No, X is for exiting. C is the one. At least I remembered them and only forgot one. So C is that one, move down and right. And then break. And then I'm gonna have case X, which is for exiting. So that means I set the condition to false so that the loop can stop. And then we're gonna need the default. So that means none of these, okay, that means you chose an incorrect option. What's going to happen? We're going to output an error.
Message.
Notify the user that incorrect option chosen. And then end line. And then I call my pause function to clear the screen and then get user input again. Okay, that should be fine. Yeah, nah. This game is there's a lot involved here. Okay, let's do this. Let's run it again. Okay, can you see the screen? This thing is,
Yeah.
you can see it, nyana, ne?
Yeah.
Let me make it a smaller game. Let me say 10 by 10. Yeah, smaller nyana game. Yeah, it's better, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Remember that this is where D is, the drone is.
The drone.
So let's say you want to move it up. I'm gonna have W, right? There's move up. You see the problem that I was talking about?
Yeah.
Let's move again. Move to the left, right? So I'm gonna use A. Move to the left. You see? Problem. It's really a problem. So what I'm going to do, right? I am going to, where's the movement? It's down there. So let's update the previous location. So update the previous player's location, right? The previous location, wait. Remember that we have two things here. We have the, what do you have? We have the trees, and then what? What else do we have? We have the trees, and what else can we see? In the charging towers, right?
Yeah.
Is it the charging towers? It's the charging towers, right? Charging, each row has, yeah, the charging towers are the hash symbols, right? Those are the hash symbols that we use. Let me just double check again. Let's see.
It's the symbol, I think.
Tower, yeah, it's the hash. Yeah, so those are towers. Because here, remember that the drone can move into anything. Yeah, it can move into anything. So after it has moved, I need to set the previous location. So I'm just going to set the previous location to a tree. How do I go to the previous location? Remember, the previous location is this value, the current, the value that was its current location. That's now the previous. Since remember that it has now moved to a new destination. I know it's going to be very long, but yeah. So this is one row. This is just the row. So you're gonna pass it like that in there. And then you pass the column in there like that. And then you say that's equal to a tree, right? It's going to be like this. So let's run it again. Now, after moving, it should update. So let's move up. You move up, there we go. But we need to update the player's location because now, look at the issue here. Let me move to the left. So you should move to this location, right? Look at what's going to happen. You see? Yeah. The problem is we are not updating the previous, we're not changing the drone's previous location. So after this, right, after the movements have taken place, right, after every single movement, I'm going to update the player's row and set that to the destination. And then update. Remember that we don't have a find player function. So now I need to do it, I need to like update manually. So movement, at least you're passing it by address. So it will make permanent changes. So let's see now after the changes. So move up, there we go. Move left. Wait, why isn't it?
It's not moving. What's happening?
Okay,
there are 3 drones now.
Oh, they are here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where's the drone now? It's still there, right? So let's move down. Or maybe we suit the movement. I don't know. Okay, it is moving. Okay, move left. Yeah, something is not right here. So we set that to the destination row and destination column. So if it is within the world, right? And I only update after doing this. after setting the previous location to it. That's when I cannot start updating. I did update the erase, so technically it should be working. Unless if there's some minor mistake with the movement here. Let me see. Did I make a mistake? Okay, let's see something here. It can move to the left, right? Okay, it can. I just want to test all of the movements. So move to the right. Okay, that won't do anything because it's not within the world. And then move Q, move up and left. So it's going to move to this location. So move up and left. Okay, it did move. And then move up and right. So I'm gonna use, okay, there's no move up and right. So I can't do that. So I need to say, wait, there's something that's not, yeah. Yeah, nah, there's a lot involved here. I keep forgetting stuff. I'm forgetting to see it to the random, the random function. So time now pointer. That's why the game keeps looking looking the same. Yeah, so after I click this and generate again should be different. Yeah. So let me move up and right. So it's E. It does move up and right. And then let's check again. Down and the left. So Z down and left. It did move. Perfect. And then you're gonna have down and right. So C. Where's the drone?
I can't see the drone. It's amazing.
Okay, there it is. No, it's not in the right location. Yeah, down and right. So I wanted to move here. So down and right, you see, it does move. Okay, the next time it has to move, it has issues. So I think it's with the record structure, but I don't know why it's giving it. I don't know why it has those problems because it's simply just doing this. And remember what he said here, we're taking it by reference. I think maybe the issue could be here. This one. Remember, we're referencing this one again, right? So I don't know how we're going to reference it in such a way that this one too is being passed by address. Yeah, it becomes tricky now. Yeah, this is a tricky situation now. Remember that we also have another structure, this one. So technically, this is the one that I want to change. So I want it to be like this. But now, how will I pass it here? That's the question. I need to pass it by address, right? So let me see. Let me think of a trick. I think the best way, right? I don't want to write spiritual things here. The best way is to, or maybe, okay, yeah. Let's see here. Drone, this. So I reference that, and the way I reference that, it should be fine. Okay, let's just double check something here. I want to double check if it is actually storing the number of rows and columns. So C out, I wanted to output the row. So rec world dot drone dot intro. I want to see if it is indeed storing. And then end line. Okay, I don't end the line. I'm just gonna combine them. and then column. Yeah, now we are debugging this thing. So drone.int column, and then end line. Let's see if it does display values. Yeah, you see it does store. That's where it is. That's the row, that's the column. It does store, it is storing. But the problem, I guess the problem is when it has to update. The problem is when it has to update, because here I'm only saying update the record structure for game world. Like by record structure, it's like the information in it, the arrays, the rows, the chance, that. This one, however, it's not being passed by
Address.
by reference. So I think what I'm going to do, right, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to do that and try a different approach. So I'm going to pass that by address, and I'm also going to pass the let me see, let me think. Can I say drone dot layer dot okay. I don't want to create too many, I don't want to pass too many parameters unnecessarily. So let me see in my initialize part. Create pass. Okay, we have that. Battery charge is that. And it's going to return the game mode. No, it only returns the game mode, right? Ish, it's going to be a tricky one. How? Let me put that back. How will I do this? Yeah, let's try doing this. I've never done this before. I'm just trying it out. So just declare it normally by address of by default. Okay, so record default constructor game mode is implicitly deleted. Undefined reference to that drone would not be initialized. Creating a constructor. What is it saying? Game mode. Game mode is not. Oh, I mean, I think it's this address of that's making everything not work. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to. That approach is not going to work because I want to store this information, the row. But it's fine. It's just fine. Let's just do that. It's fine. I'm gonna take it in as input. Let me see the number of pieces, and yeah, I'm just gonna take it as input. So the drone, it's going to take in a drone, and then by address of, right, because I want to update the drone, the values in the drone, and then I'm going to go to my create world in the planning, do the same thing there, that the blueprint matches with the end product. Then I'm just gonna remove that because it's no longer inside the game mode record structure. Then I have this, then I have that. And then now when it comes to movements, I'm also going to take in drone's location. And then I'm going to take it in by address of so that I make permanent changes. Now I am able to pass it by address. And then I'm going to no longer drag words, it's just drone, which makes my code a bit easier to understand now. Just drone.intro, the drones column. Yeah, you see, it's a bit
Oh
better.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, drone.intro. Yeah, it's a bit better now. So let's see. I need to create a drone. Yeah, I need to just declare drone here. Drone, like this, right? If I wanted to, I can give it initial values if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna create a drone. That's it, just that drone there. And then when I'm creating this, I take in that drone, update, and then with the movements, take in the drone, and then take in the drone. Yeah, there's a lot of movements. So take in the drone, take in the drone, and you must do this thing in the semester test. All of this. In the drone, in the drone, pass the drone. Finally, pass the drone. Let's see now if it is going to update. But yeah, I should, because now I'm able to pass it by reference, right? So there's that location, right? So move up, move up, move up. Ish, something is not right here. You see, now it stops doing that. Something is off here. Is equals to a tree. Then update it. Shouldn't it be updating? It seems like, I'm not sure, but yeah. It seems like it becomes complicated when you store the player like this. As you can, like using a record structure, the drone's location. So if you check here, moving up, move up, you see, it becomes complicated now. I don't know what I'm missing, but I feel like I did everything. See, I do pass it by address of to change. When it starts at that drone's location. And then when you call the function again, it starts at that drone's location. But the drone, it'll start now at the destination app. So I do update it here. Not sure why it's giving me problems. Yeah, okay. Seems like that approach is not gonna work. So from now on, just don't use a
structures.
Yeah, for the location.
Only the location.
Yeah, only the location. Because you see now you can't you can write your correct code, right? But it's not going to execute properly if you stored it in a record structure.
Okay.
But why is it doing that? To be honest, it should be working because I am also using a record structure for printing, right? So I'm using a record structure for printing. So it should wait, or maybe it is moving, but the printing part is not gets affected. I don't know, but it's equals to 3 system clear, get the rows and columns and then print. Yeah. I think we're just gonna do it the old school way. Let's do it the old school way. I just want to see if the issue is really with this, me storing it like that or what. So I'm going to have a function called find drone. It's gonna take in the game world. No, that's not what I want. Track world. And then it's going to take in a row entity. Okay, int. Wait, what am I doing again? Oh yeah, it's going to find and then it's going to return. Okay, let me see. yeah, I need to pass in a row and a column, two variables to store the player's location. And then after I've stored the player's location, I'm going to equate that to the int d row and int d column. So I'm just going to have int p row. I'm just going to call it int, yeah. And I'm passing it by address because I'm going to need to pass in rows and columns, right? So I'm going to create this. I'm going to do this. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to have int players row, right? Initially starts as 0, and then int p column starts at 0. And then I'm going to call the find drone method, find drone, which takes in the record structure for the game world and two variables that I'm going to use to store the player's location. So I need to pass it by address so that I update these zeros. These zeros, they need to be updated. That's why I'm going to pass it by reference there. So let's find the drone. So I'm just going to say for int r is equals to 0, r is less than rec world dot int rows. And then r plus plus. And then for int c is equals to 0, c is less than rec world dot int calls. And then c plus plus. Then I'm going to say if in my game world, right, the two-dimensional array at that specific position, the specific row and column, if it is equal to a drone, so if it's equal to a drone, then I'm going to take in these coordinates. That row and that column. So in row, int p row is now equal to that row. Then int p column is now equal to that column. And after I've found it, right, there's no need for me to keep running these loops. So I'm just going to put a break here. A break, it means stop. So it stops executing once it has found the player. And then I call it, and then I store it inside p row and p column. And then I'm going to have this. I'm going to say initially it's equals to my players row, right, which is stored inside p row. And initially is equals to my drones column, which is int p call. And then I'm going to need to update a lot of things there. So now this is going to be int p row, and then int p column. Then there's no need for me to do this to update the player's row because every time you're going to keep finding the player. So it's going to keep generating new coordinates. Oh, I need to update this. Where is it? Move player, right? Okay, I did update it. What's wrong here? Oh, it's create world. I'm looking at the wrong function. Create world. Yeah, I forgot to remove the drone here. And okay, what now? So just gonna crash there and not do anything. I don't know what this error is. Undefined reference to int. Don't I have 4 integers? I do. It's int, and int. What's wrong with this thing? Or maybe in my create world, in the CPP file, I think that's where the issue is. Let's see. Yeah. So this is where the issue is. And then, okay, for now, you're just gonna cancel this for now, and then I'm gonna cancel this and cancel that. Just comment it out. Yeah, let's start. Let's see if the player is gonna keep moving. So up. Yeah. Then move. Then yeah, it's moving. Yeah, just don't store it in a record structure. It's going to complicate things. So now what we need is we need to update. Where's that record structure? The drone record structure? We're not gonna need this anymore. But I'm still gonna need this battery chance. So this battery chance, I'm gonna store it inside the game mode record structure. Game mode record structure, this one, battery charge, I mean. And what did they say? They say initial is 10, right? So I'm gonna delete this. Delete that, and then I'm gonna have battery charge there. Now it's inside the game mode record structure. So I'm gonna say rec world dot battery charge is equals to 10 because they said initially it's 10. Let's check. Yeah, the drone starts with battery charge level of 10 units. So initially it's 10 units. So the player can move in any direction. We have that handled. The player may not move outside the game area. So you have that function that handles that. The game can move any square in the world area. We did handle that. It's basically this. The player chooses to initiate a scan. Scanning an area reveals the features hidden under the trees. Those features may be empty or contain a previously hidden map piece. Scanning an area is similar to removing the trees from the scanning range. Oh, okay, I see. There's a bit of logic to be written here. So you can choose to initiate a scan, right? That's one of the options. So let's add that option. So from in here, I'm gonna have an option. Okay. So I'm gonna have an option. Let's say the option is scan, right? Initiate a scan. It can be any let. I'm just gonna say F initiate scan. That's what I'm gonna call it. And then end line. If I wanted to, I can show the battery charge, but yeah, we'll get to that later. So after this case, even before anyway is fine. I'm just gonna have case F. So the user wants to initiate a scan, right? And it's based on movement. The player wants to initiate a scan. Scanning an area reveals the hidden features, right? So if the user chooses that option for scanning, then it should output the features, right? So let's see. So let's update our. Are you still there? Oh, it's still there. It's just quiet. So let's update our code a bit. So in terms of the output, right? What I'm going to do, right? I'm not going to say index is equals to map piece, right? I'm gonna have a scan, some boolean is scanned, right? This boolean is gonna represent it's going to state whether the user has scanned or not. So if the user has scanned, then it should print everything. If the user hasn't scanned, then it shouldn't print everything. I'm gonna try to do it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it like that. So by default, it's going to be false, right? By default. And then wait, okay, wait. Let me do this. Let me create a variable for it. William has scanned. I'm just gonna call it has scanned. By default, is equals to false. And then I'm just gonna pass has scanned there. And then once the user decides to scan here, I'm gonna set it to what? True. Because now when the user chooses this option, that means it's true. They have scanned. And then now in my code, I'm gonna change it a little bit. So let's change it a little bit. Let's say if has scanned, right?
Yeah.
Is scanned. Yeah, I've called it is scanned here. If it's scanned, remember when you just leave it like this, a condition in the if statement, you check if it is true. And if it's true, then it does something. So what I'm saying is that is scanned it as a truth value of true. So basically, I'm saying it is scanned is equals to true without saying it. It's a shortcut for doing so. It's like instead of saying this int d_row is equals to int d_row -1. Instead of saying this, you can abbreviate it and just say int row minus. It's the same thing here. So instead of me saying is equals to true, I can just say is scanned. And then it's going to check whether it is a truth, whether this variable's answer is equals to true. So let's see if it is scanned, right? What should happen? I shouldn't have to worry about blocking anything. I'm just gonna output everything. So output that index, the features, and then I'm done. And then I'm gonna have an else that states if it's not scanned, right? That means this is false. That means it's not scanned. What should happen? You should output everything else, everything except the map piece. So I can find it. I can sort of do it like the previous way. I can say the index, right? I can check the index. If the index is equals to a map piece, then output just output a tree. Just going to output a tree space like that. Output a tree and then else just output the features. Yeah, and then I'm gonna leave it like that. And then what do we need now? Scanned. Move. Okay, there should be an update. Let me see. It's only with movements. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, let me show you something here. You see, when the user decides to scan, right? You see what happens? The trees. I beg your pardon?
I wasn't seeing your screen.
Oh, okay. So what happens is that when the user chooses to scan, it's going to remove all of the trees. Because remember the trick that we've used, right, is that we've hidden the map piece with the tree. And under a tree. So it's sort of like that. So when the user chooses to scan, it's going to check anything within its radius. This is the radius, right?
Mhm.
And the way we're gonna check the radius, right, is like this. Let's do this, and then do this. Yeah. Then zoom out a bit up until here, exactly there. Yeah. So how do we find the, okay, let me put that back and then put this. So how would you find the radius? Remember the radius is this, and then this one, what is this? This one, and then this one, this coordinate, this coordinate, this coordinate, this coordinate, this coordinate, this coordinate, right? That's the radius, anything around it. So how would we indicate that this is around the drone? How would we indicate that? It's simple logic. The way we're moving the features or the drone, the same way we move the drone is the same way, is the same approach you're going to take. So let's just zoom in and check, right? So what is this range? It's 1 to 3, right?
Mhm.
But how can I find that range using the player's location? Is the player's row, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say row, the player's row, right, is currently 2. How do I find the starting point? I'm gonna sort of do a for loop. How will I find starting point? What changes should I make to the row in order to find starting point? The starting
The
point is
starting
1. Starting point is 1, right? How would I find the starting point? If I use with the knowledge that I have of my current row, current drone's position, of which is the row. Because for now I'm just looking at the rows, right? I want it to be able to count from 1 to 3 so that I can look at all of these. So
I'm
how
not
can
sure
I
if I get you.
so remember that I'm trying to count from 1 to 3 because I'm trying to find the radius. I'm trying to find anything that's around it, like this. All of these coordinates around the drone, around the current drone's location, all of these coordinates. So I'm going to use a smart way. I don't want to index them individually. Instead of indexing them individually, I'm going to count from this starting point here, the starting row, the starting column, I should say column, yeah, column. The starting column up until this last column. So 1 to 3, right? Using the current drone's position. So how would I find its starting point? Remember, I want to do a for loop. How would I find the starting point for the column using the drone's location? Basically what should I make? What should I do to the column in order to get its starting point, which is 1?
Subtract by 1.
So I need to say the column subtracted by 1. Start from there, right? And then stop where I want to stop at 3. So what should I make? What change should I make to the column in order to stop at 3?
You add the column by 1.
Add 1, exactly. And then this is the columns, right, that I need to go through.
Yeah.
So what about the rows? If remember now it's currently at row 1, right? So it's currently at row 1. What change? I need to start at 0 and stop at 2 because it stops here, then it starts here. It goes through this row, it goes through that row, it goes through this row. So it starts at row 0 and stops at row 2. So what changes should I make to the row in order to get that starting point, which is 0?
You minus by 1.
So it's going to be row minus 1. And then the stopping point,
You add the row by 1.
exactly. So I'm going to say row plus 1. And you see it's the same for both of them. So I'm going to
The
do it
column
like
and the
that.
row.
Yeah, it's the same formula. Row minus 1, column minus 1.
So
Row minus plus 1, column plus 1. It's the same formula. So I'm going to do that. That's how I find the range. So I'm going to check the options, right? And it's only under movements. Ish, that's the problem. They didn't put it under like sort of like an update part where you're gonna, yeah. So it's a bit complicated. So let's see. So that means the movement is going to take in a has scanned input so that I know whether the user scanned or not. Movement, move drone. Okay, there you are. I'm gonna need to update my main because now I've updated my blueprint and the implementation file, the header file and the implementation file. So let's see. So it's going to move, right? It's going to make these movements, right? But let me see. If you scan, you're not moving. Technically not moving. You may choose to initiate a scan. Scanning an area reveals its features hidden under the trees. These features may be empty or contain previous hidden map pieces. Scanning an area is similar to removing the trees from the scanning range. So I need to remove trees from the scanning range. So let's do that. So what I'm going to, yeah, you're not moving. You're just charging to recharge. Yeah. So that's all there is to with map pieces. So for now, moving a drone over a map piece does not automatically collect the map piece. Instead, the player must specifically choose to collect it. These people are mad. These people are mad. Now you must choose to collect the map piece. Eh. uh, there's a lot of logic. You're gonna go crazy here. So let's see. Move drone. Yeah, they're starting to get on my nerves now. So let's see if it's within the world, it moves, right? So I'm going to check, right, if the user has initiated a scan. If they want to initiate a scan, then that means I don't move the player. Instead, what do? I reveal, I reveal the trees basically. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all of this. I know it's a very different way of writing the code, but yeah. So I'm going to cut everything that is to do with moving the player. Within the function, I stop there, I cut it, and then I'm going to have an if statement. If has scanned, something should happen. If you haven't scanned, move the player. And then I paste all of that code for moving the player. If it has scanned, then what should happen? Reveal the map pieces. That's all you need to do. You need to reveal the map pieces. Remember the formula. I'm gonna go through every single row, but I need to start at which row? Yeah. Okay, I need to find the drone's position. So I need to copy this. This needs to be outside of this if statement, like this. Because I need to start at that drone's position. That drone's position, start at -1, and then R is less than or equals to, because I need to stop at exactly that location. +1. But yeah, you can just say plus. And then here you just say minus. Less than plus. And then, oh yeah, okay, let's not say plus. Plus will update. I don't want to update the player's location. I don't want to change it. Yeah, don't make that mistake. So here I'm just gonna say +1. And then R++ increment by 1. And then I do for this the same thing with the columns. Started int p call minus 1. And then column is less than or equals to int p column in C++. Like that. And then now you're going to reveal you're going to change everything that's within this radius. This is the radius, right? So that means it's a tree. So there's trees around it. So I'm going to remove the trees and replace them with empty spaces. Remember, if you check this, you see there's empty spaces, but there's also a drone, and the drone will happen to be hidden, right? So I also need to do an if statement. Yeah. If it's not a drone, if it's not a drone, then replace that, show the,
No, it should be in that place.
let me see. Let's do something here. Let's check, yeah, let's check this. Or if it is scanned, that means true. That means it will output everything, right? Oh, okay, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I did handle it in my output. So all I'm going to do here, I'm going to say if it is equals to a tree, then replace it with an empty space. That's it. Remove the trees because I'm using the has scanned in as input to my print world function. So if it is scanned, it is going to reveal it. So I don't have to worry about taking that into account, the map pieces, because I was worried that if I try to change this, it's going to change my map pieces to empty spaces. I didn't want it to be like that. So if it's equals to a tree, right? What should happen? Updated dot game world row and column updated to an empty space. Empty space, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna keep checking around this radius, that radius. And then we have that, right? I think that everything should be fine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna choose to scan and see what happens. So we take it as the last input, right? So has scanned, has scanned, has scanned, has scanned, has scanned, has scanned, has scanned. Yeah, has scanned. So all it does here, it just sets it to true. Yeah, so and decide to scan. After deciding to scan, it should reveal this, right? Okay, yeah, I need to, oh yeah, I need to update. Ish. Okay, I'm just gonna, yeah, I was just thinking about something here. So I'm going to, any movement is fine here because it's not going to move. Any movement is fine. I'll just leave it as like move up because I was worried about me passing the movement. Yeah, it's not going to move anything because if you check here, I said if it is scanned, then do this, right? Make updates. Else, if it hasn't scanned, then move the player. So even if I pass the movement, it won't do anything. But before I move I call the move drone because remember my code for this thing, for doing this thing, for revealing the trees, for scanning and removing the trees is inside the move player or the move drone function. So that's why I'm calling the move drone function here. And then I pass the has scanned. So let's check it out. Well, what did I do wrong here? Let's see. Initiate scan. It is fine. What's there is initiate scan. Or maybe in my, let me check in my code. Yeah, You see, get the input immediately after printing this. And what does it print? It prints this exit, and then after exit program, it prints F. I don't know why it's printing extra information. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Yeah, okay, there's the drone, right? I don't know in what location, but let's see. So let me go up, move up, right? So now let's do a scan. So after doing the scan, you should replace everything that's around, everything that's here.
With empty space.
Yeah, with empty space. Let's check. Wait, did I really replace it? Oh yeah, I did, yeah. So I'm gonna put option F. There we go. But it's not actually doing everything. It's not doing everything here on this side. Did I miss something here? Let me see.
And it's actually revealing the map pieces.
It did.
Yeah. I get they're represented by O.
Yeah, they're represented by O. Where is it?
Yeah, I saw that. You see?
Yeah, there it is. After, yeah, it's the logic. If the logic is fine, it'll go well. So there it is. Yeah, there's the map pieces. There they are. It did reveal them. The thing is, yeah, it takes a lot to, you see how much code they had to write in order for it to actually work perfectly fine. Yeah, it takes a lot of understanding. Oh, that's why, you see, int p call, you see the problem. It wasn't going through, it wasn't stopping at the last column. That was the problem. So let's move the drone. Move drone. Yeah, let's do a scan. F scan. Boom, magic. It removes. It removes. Replaces the trees with empty space, and then there we see. We can see. We can now see the what? The map pieces. So let's check our code. What's missing? What's next?
You're a genius.
You just need to understand what's going on there. Find a way. And the way that I wrote my code, right? It's not necessarily the only way to solve it. You can have your own way, just know logic. You see, logic, that's one class you should check, you should really pay attention to. I suggest you check out this thing, Hyperskill, ne? You see Hyperskill. I'm using it to learn Python, but you can also learn maths. You see, there's maths there. There's maths for machine. There's introduction to maths. You see, they start with what? Logic, equation, functions, and what. Especially the logic part. The logic part, it's very, very important. The logic part. If you don't know logic, you're never going to know computer science, because let me just say maths. If you don't know maths and physics, physics is for those people who are doing like applications for our NASA, government. That's physics part, right? It's very complicated, scientific research and stuff. But if you know maths, if you really know maths, you know equations and everything, I'm telling you, you'll be the best programmer, because most programmers, they know code, but they don't know maths. They forget that programming is mostly maths. Programming, do you know who invented programming? It was mathematicians. They wanted to do calculations, big calculations. They couldn't calculate them with their hands and with their head. So yeah, that's why they invented programming, because now they can make a system, an application that calculates for them. And they put in a formula. It uses that formula to make the calculations for them. You see, there's logic. They're going to teach you logic. What are Boolean logic? What is this? You see, truth values, conjunction truth tables. All of this is what I'm using to solve this practical. All of this, only this logic. So be really check this thing out. You'll thank me later. It's very important to know maths.
Is it for free?
Yeah, it is for free. There's a trial. It's not like 100% free. There's a trial for 7 days.
Try for 7 days.
Yeah, for 7 days. And then after 7 days, you can apply for what they call a financial aid. So the financial aid, you're just gonna tell them, I'm a student doing computer science. I need this for practice, for what to get better. I'm a beginner. I come from a bad financial background. You lie there. You say you must motivate your answer there. It's like writing some sort of a short essay. You tell them you add you bend the truth. Yeah, I am. You are doing computer science. Yeah, you tell them, hey, yeah, I come from a place like Limpopo. Like, yeah, you tell them, yeah, I need this thing. You must be very convincing. And if you don't know what to say, you can just use ChatGPT. You can just tell it generate. For example, if they say they want 150 words, just say ChatGPT write 150 word essay uh, for applying for a financial aid, something like that, and then it's gonna generate it for you. And then it's gonna they've approved. I have used it before, right? The 3 months one. Trust me, it's very easy to get it. You just need to write something. They'll give it to you for free. So you get 3 months for free. So within that 3 months, you can learn all these things for free. Everything that's here, you can learn for free. You can learn maths, you can learn computer science, you learn the language that you want. And there's projects here. You can upload those projects onto GitHub. And when you upload onto GitHub, when you apply at a company, they're gonna say, let's see your GitHub. They see the GitHub, they're like, oh, okay, you're doing projects, you know your stuff, most. Then you get easily hired. They're gonna take you, over other candidates. They're gonna choose you because they're gonna see you actually put in the work. You do code most of the time. There's projects, there's evidence to back that up. So this is a very good website, this one. That's the only website that I know that's good for learning programming, because there's 3 steps that take place. You learn the theory. There's like sort of like multiple choice question that they test you on the theory, right? Then there is the third one is the practical. There's going to be coding questions. And then you do projects. That's like the 4th part of it. There's a project, there's stage 1, stage 2, there's many stages. Then you apply for that stage based on what you've learned. So you see that you end up, you leave this, you finish a project knowing exactly what those concepts mean. So let's see, let's continue where we left off. So scanning is similar to removing trees from the scanning range. Yeah, so it removes trees from the scanning range. Moving the drone over to a charging station recharges the drone. They say charging station, right? Where's that charging station here?
I can't see your screen.
You can see my screen.
Yeah, I was out. Network.
Oh, it was network, and I'm busy explaining here. I'm talking to myself.
You were talking to yourself.
I was explaining about this, right? This is the best website to go and learn programming, because there's four steps involved into understanding a topic. So let's say they talk about for loops, right? They tell you the theory about for loops. Then the second part is a question whereby they ask you about for loops. They ask you, what is this part about the for loop? What does it mean? There's some coding questions here and there. And then yeah, the third part is like the coding question. They ask you coding questions for that question, right? For loops. Then the 4th part is you apply what you've learned on a project. They tell you, you have a business, what, and you want to go through each item that you're selling in the store. So use a for loop to go through through each of those items in your store, something like that. So you apply what you've learned, and you can learn anything. You see, there's maths. Maths is important. I would suggest you start there. Just look at this one. You see this one that says introduction. Don't worry about maths for machine learning. This is machine learning. This is when you're making models, like you're making AI, robot that speaks and things that's the maths. You don't need that maths yet. There's linear algebra. It is important for machine learning. It's mainly for machine learning. So you don't need to know that. This is final year content. You don't need to focus on that for now. So you need this one. And it's only 7 hours, just solving. It's gonna ask you a few questions, solve this, and then yeah, you understand the concept. And I like the way they explain. It's so simplistic. They explain to you like you're a child. They're like, okay, imagine it's like this, like that, like that. Yeah, that's what a for loop is. And you're like, wow, okay. It's straightforward, most. And you can learn languages if you want. There's biology and bioinformatics if you're into that. People who like biology, you can make systems for health system, like a system that checks your heart rate, something like that. But yeah, it's a step-by-step approach, so you don't overthink. Don't think about the level of difficulty. No, they're gonna take you step by step. They teach you the things that you need to know in order to build that system. Then they say apply that information. So
Okay, I see.
you should check out this website, Hyperskill. So as I was saying, they give you 7 days free trial, right? And then after that, if once the trial is expired, there's an option whereby you can go and get the financial aid. The financial aid, that means they're gonna pay for you, or you're gonna learn for free. So they're gonna they give you 3 months for free. So you're gonna get access to everything that's here for free for 3 months. So you need to utilize it, make the most of it once you get it. There's also data science. If you want to do data science, it's also there. And data science is very important because it pays a lot. Remember when we were looking at the salaries and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine you just entry level, you're earning more 150,000 rands per month, entry level.
Yo.
And if you're working for an overseas company, right? You can, in a way, you can sort of dodge tax because you're not working for a South African company, so that means you don't have to pay tax. You're not working, yeah, you're not working here, right? And you're
Yeah.
also not working overseas. You're not a resident in overseas.
And
So you are not
overseas.
obliged to pay tax. So you don't pay tax. You're in
Yo.
between. So yeah, you're like in between. You're neither working for South Africa, so that means you can't pay tax. You're not a resident for that country that you've been hired in, so you don't pay tax. So all of that money, 150 something thousand, comes to you cash, no
All
tax,
of it.
all of it. And if you check the installments of cars to get like a AMG A45 is like 12,000. So you can even get a G63 and pay it monthly. In the first few months, you're buying a G63. And people like Marahau.
How?
How? Us with PhDs, with this, it's not all about that. It's about using your brain. Use your think. Yeah, be smart with the brain that you've been given. Your parents gave you education. Use that to make more money, to monetize, to be smart about it. Don't just keep studying. Hey, me, yeah, I want to be called prof.
Ah.
You think in heaven they're gonna say profs this side. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, focus on use your brain wisely because there's opportunities out there. I know people with no degrees who didn't even do computer science. They just did an internship and is earning this exact amount that I'm talking about. And he earned it in his first year, as in his first job. Imagine when you go to another job after, let's say after 2 years, how much are you earning now? I'm at 200 and something thousand a month. You are rich. So let's see, let's continue. It is scanning, right? So it is scanning, it is revealing the trees, it's removing the trees within that radius or that range. Yeah, let's say radius because yeah, it's a radius, it's a circle. So within that radius. So moving the drone over to a map piece does not automatically collect the map piece. These people are not playing around. They are not playing around. They're saying if you move it to a map piece, it doesn't automatically collect it. So it means that you need to specifically choose to collect a map piece.
Map piece.
You need to choose to collect a map piece. So let's see. Let's do that, right? And it's inside the move drone function. And there's a lot going on in this move drone. So let's see if it has scanned, and this is where you can move. It's here where it has been scanned. So if it has been scanned, let me see. I think I'm gonna have to repeat some things here. So let's do this. Let me take out the this drone and what the destination row and column, put it there outside the if statement. As for the movements, right? If it hasn't scanned, it's going to do that. Okay, so we need to take in another option. What's the other option? What are we going to say? Collect, right? What is this? They choose to collect a map piece. So in the movement, I need to take in a variable, or I need to take in input that stores where the user has chosen to collect a map piece. To collect a map piece. Oh, so moving over. Okay, so that means you're gonna move towards close to a map piece next to it, right? And then once you've moved, it's going to. Okay, something is missing here in my code. You see, after I've scanned, I know it should reveal this, right? But it should be the user should also be able to move when it gets called again. So this part is going to be important. I'm also going to need the switch inside of here, but I need to come up with a clever way to scan and let me see, to move and scan. Can you do that in one thing? In one. Let me see. I think I should normalize separating things here. I mean, even though this question is just spiritual. I mean, it states that it's in the moving, right? That means it's in the movement. So I technically can put it in any other in any other place. But yeah, I'm not gonna put it in a moving function because now it complicates my stuff. The moving, it needs to just move. That's all it does. It doesn't have to check about scanning and what. Yeah, I'm gonna have a void. I'm gonna have another function. So void reveal map pieces, which takes in a boolean as scanned. Yeah, it's just to keep things simple. Because now if I try to mix things, it won't end well. So I'm gonna have this pieces, right? And then I'm gonna have this. Just gonna cut this. Okay, let me just copy that. If it is scanned, and then I also need to find the player. Okay. Let's do this. So I only need to find the player, so I'm just gonna have to do that there. And then I need to take in the game world. Come on. Rec world. I'm not making any changes, so I'm not gonna pass it by address. So that function just reveals the map pieces. That's all it does. And then here I'm gonna stick to movements, only movements. Because now you see it becomes complicated when I try to mix things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. My function is fine. And then I'm gonna remove this has scanned. It's complicating stuff. So wait. Yeah, I need to pass it by address. I forgot this part. We are changing it to empty space. So I need to pass it by address. So I'm making updates to the array. Let me go back here and remove the has scanned. And then here it's just going to reveal. Yeah, it makes sense because all it does is to reveal. It's to scan. There's no movements. I can't put it in the move drone function. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. That's why it was complicating my code. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. We have this. No. Delete. It. It. Okay, I won't need this function anymore, right? I'm gonna have what is it called? Reveal. Map pieces, takes in the rect world, and has scanned. Wait, it takes in what? Yeah, and has scanned. Didn't I? Oh, ish. Yeah, and then when you make changes and you don't make them throughout, it's gonna give you errors and you won't know where these errors are coming.
Yeah.
So that was the error. Yeah, you see, now it's fine. That was the error. So you should just reveal, right? That's all it does. Ish, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It shouldn't show spiritual things. So let's see. Let me scroll, move down, right? That's S, move down. And then reveal, initiate scan, F, scan. Okay, it happens to be there, you see, and it didn't remove it. You see, it happens to be there. The map piece happens to be there, and it didn't remove it. So, wait, how many map pieces do I have again? It's five, right? I'm only seeing two.
It's two.
I'm only seeing two here. What's going on? It didn't generate properly or what? Move to the left and then initiate scan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's working exactly how it should be working. Yes, it's perfect. At least it can reveal. So just normal. If there's talk about, even though something is underneath the moving, right? You don't have to necessarily put it inside a move drone or move player function, because you see what happens. It complicates your code. So we have that fixed. We have that fixed. So let's see. Movement. Okay, yeah. We're only handling that. Now we need to handle the collect map piece. Moving over a drone. Over a map piece does not automatically collect the map piece. Yeah, these people. I don't know. I don't know which student pissed this lecturer off. He was like, you know what? I'm going all out on this question paper. The map piece does not automatically collect. Yeah, does not automatically collect the map piece. So I need to have a collect map piece option. So you see, I need to add an extra option here. Initiate scan, and then you're gonna have, I don't know what to call it now. G, I'm just gonna use G. Collect map piece. Then I remove that. These options are a lot. No wonder why my game is not displaying properly. So let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I didn't even add yet because this game requires a lot of logic. We'll add. Remember that we need to verify like the check range function. Yeah, but I said we're gonna use our set. Yeah, we haven't done that yet. We're gonna do it a bit later. But for now, we need to do this. Let's see. So I'm just gonna use a boolean to just gonna call it once to collect. Once to collect is gonna start as false because at this point the user hasn't specified whether he or she wants to collect. So where would I take this information in? Is one of the what is this? The sure. Let me see. I think I shouldn't. Let me think about it. Should it be move? I'm not sure where to place it, to be honest. I don't know where to place it. Should it be in the move function or print world? Let me see. Moving overdraw does not automatically. The player must specifically choose to collect a map piece. Okay, so for now it should be in the move. Yeah, I should accept it in the move. So I need to have boolean or not print move. Move, where's move? It is move. It have boolean wants to collect. I'm gonna use it with once I want to move into something, right? And check what am I moving into using the destination row and destination column. I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Bool wants to collect right? So yeah, it's going to annoy me everywhere again that I need to add this wants to collect. So we should write, yeah, at least my logic now has improved over the years. Yeah, my logic wasn't this good, Sham. It was good, but not this good.
Not this good.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of failing. When your game fails to display and you're just looking at the computer and you're asking yourself, Mara, why is it not displaying? You don't even know. You have no clue.
Or why?
Yeah. So let's see. To move the drone, right? I don't know why I keep saying play. Move the drone. So to move the drone, before I move, right, I'm going to check where am I moving to. So if I am trying to move to, and I'm going to use the destination row and destination column because that's where I'm trying to move to, right? If I'm trying to move to a map piece, right? To a map piece. And if I'm trying to move to a map piece and the wants to collect, right? Variable, it's and okay, if I want to move to a map piece and wants to collect like this, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Remember, this is gets evaluated if only it's true, right? So you don't need to specify that is equals to true like this. You don't need to do that. You just leave it like this because it's only going to be validated only when it's true. So if wants to collect is true, that means the user wants to collect, right? And I've moved into a map piece. Then what should happen? I should collect it. So rec world dot okay, I copy. I end up removing the thing that I've copied, so I need to copy it again. So set that to a drone, because that's the drone needs to take its location. So basically, it needs to collect it, right?
Yeah.
So if you've moved into a map piece and it wants to be collected, then collect it. And then you check now if I've moved into, what about the other one? There's this hash one. What is it? Charging tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they say about charging tower? So this one is fine. We've handled it where the user specifically states, right? So I need to add that option, right? The G option. So after here, I need to have case G and say wants to collect is now true. And then break. And then I need to add my options. Okay, I called it collect map piece, right?
Yeah.
So now it's true. Yeah, that's fine. So let's check. What's the other one? What was it about now? Where's the one about the charging tower? The charging tower, right? That's the hash. It talks about doing activities with drone uses app battery charge. Okay, but there was something that talked about, yeah, charging station. This one. Moving a drone over a charging station recharges the drone. What is the charging station? Like they just keep using different terms. Now think, what is the charging station? Is it charging power?
I
Yeah,
think it's in town.
yeah, it is. Yeah, you must think about English here in terms like this. Moving the drone over the charging tower, it recharges the
The
drone.
road.
So it recharges, right? So what I need to do is, remember it has a battery charge, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to recharge. Initially it's what, it's 10. So I need to recharge it. So let's see. That's where's the movement? Yeah. If I move into, so I'm gonna have an else if, right? Because they can only move to one piece at a time. So it's either you move this piece, else if you can move to that piece one at a time. So I'm gonna have a record like this. If I've moved to the tower, to the charging tower, right?
Mm.
What should happen? It should it recharges. Yeah, it recharges the drone. But I don't know, it recharges it by how many units? So I'm assuming it's only one.
Why?
Yeah, because they just said initially it's 10. If you remember, they said initially it's 10 units. So I mean, that means it just increases by one. Shit. Yeah, and there's units being used here. A lot of units being used. So let's recharge, right? So it's record that battery charge plus plus like this, right? So we've recharged. If it moves, but it doesn't say anything about collecting, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about collecting. And then I'm going to have if you move to a tree. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have if you move to a tree. Else if you move to a tree, right? So record, you've moved into a tree. Was it the tree? it says it can overwrite it, right? So I'm gonna have that there. It's going to overwrite the previous drone's location. It's going to overwrite the trees, right? Let me see. I refuse and that can move any square similar to removing the trees. Moving a drone. You see, now they're saying the player moving a drone. Yeah, those people are like me. They may they get confused. They must stick to one thing, player or drone. Stick to one. Don't say player and then say drone.
Let
Now
it drone.
you're gonna confuse the students. Okay, so which one is moving? Is it the player or the drone or both?
Yeah.
Like now you're not sure which one is moving. Scanning an area. Okay, there's no moving drone of MF pieces. Okay, if it wants to be collected, we have a boolean for that, and we increase the battery charge by 1. Right, for this bullet, we increase the battery charge by 1. Doing activities with the drone uses up the battery charge. So moving, so if you have moved every single movement, you've used 1 unit, so it needs to subtract 1. So the battery charge, if you've moved here, okay, let's do it here. Let's start with, if you moved into a tree, dot battery charge, it needs to decrease it by 1, you lose 1 unit. For the tower, it just recharges it, it just refills it, it doesn't collect it. That's what it says. It didn't talk about deleting it or anything like that. So what if you moved into a map piece? Okay, if you decide to scan, it's 3 units. Yo, yeah, there's a cost for everything. Yeah. If you decide to scan, where is it? Let's look at the scan. This is the scan, what reveal map. If it has scanned, go through what everything, right? And then I need to update the battery charge. So record dot battery charge. They say you lose how many? 3.
3.
So it's minus equals to 3. So you lose 3 units, right? Okay, so what about collecting a map piece? It's 2 units.
2 units.
So in my move drone, there's that part about map piece. This is there it is here. So collecting is 2 units. Okay, very much. So record dot battery charge. It's 2 units, so it's going to be plus or equals to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what is update? Hey, we're almost done, but it's been a long tune. Update. You guys, yeah, brave. You're doing computer science. Hey,
Yeah.
you need a vacation to Dubai after this year. There is a command
It's a
line.
lot
It's a
for
lot.
first year. Yeah.
There is a command line defined percentage chance. Yeah, there's that percentage chance that each individual charging tower may be destroyed by individual living in the jungle. So the update, I don't even know what they want here. That each charging tower may be destroyed by the individual people living in the jungle.
So
Let me see. I think we should generate there's a chance, right? So let me see. Yeah, there's a percentage, yeah. That int chance. So what should happen, right? We should take in a game mode and then rec world. We're gonna take it by reference, because I think we have to make some changes. Okay, the chance is stored inside the record structure. I don't have to worry about that. It's stored inside the record structure. So I'm only gonna pass that game world record structure. Where is it supposed to go? Let's put it here. Let's see. But the command line define percentage chance that each individual tower may be destroyed by the individuals in indigenous people living in that jungle. So the way I'm gonna structure this, right? There's a chance, right? So I'm gonna generate a random percentage, right? And then if it happens, it so happens to be equal to to that chance, then what should happen? It should destroy it. So it should update it, right? So I should replace that with the empty space. If I think empty space should be fine. So let me go through all of the rows and columns. And okay, it's rec world dot int rows row plus plus. And then for int column, it goes to 0 column is rec world dot int calls, and then C++. And then let's generate, right? So I'm going to check, first I need to check if, I need to check, they say there's a chance that each individual charging tower may be destroyed. So I'm going to say if, and then I'm going to call the generate random, right? Generate a random value between 1 and 100, right? It's a percentage.
Mm.
If that value is less than or equal to rec world dot int chance, like this, right?
Mm.
What should happen? We should destroy the charging tower. How do we destroy it? I'm just gonna say rec world dot game world, that specific row and column where the charging tower is, change that to an empty space. Basically destroy it. That's all I'm gonna write today. That's the update. Not sure where you're gonna put the update. Should it be after every single movement? Let me see. Yeah, I'll just say after every single movement. Update record. Okay, just record. Update. This. So after every single movement, it's going to update. Okay, scanning doesn't require you to update. Yeah, just movement. Let's see. The game succeeds. The game succeeds. This person was not in the mood for writing this question paper. Hey, the game succeeds. Okay, so now the game is succeeding. So which one is the player? Is it the game or the player
Or the drone.
or the drone? We don't know anymore. Yeah, this was a problem. This question paper. So let's we're almost done. Let's with the output, we need to display a couple of more things here. God, I'm just gonna write it in one line. This output, these options, I mean, They're too long. Eh,
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna do them like that. Just put spaces in between. They're too long, yo. No, I can't even see my game properly. Workspace. Then I have this. That. Okay, let's see. I just want to test out how it looks now. Okay, yeah, it is fine the way I'm structuring it. You see, it
Yeah.
is fine. So I'm gonna put that space there, space, space, and then there should be an end line here, but I need to add more options. So I need to add, okay, this is just input now. So I need to add an end of line character here. And then here I need to say, what is this? I need to output the battery chance, right? Then say record dot battery charge. It's charge, not chance, charge. Then I think that should suffice. Do I need to output anything else? Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, wrong ID. Let's check. Yeah, it's a bit better. Let's see, after move to the, yeah, it does update.
That's update.
But something is not right here. I moved and wait.
There are empty spaces.
What did he say again? For the chance, I think it's the chance. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, but now it seems like, yeah, it's deleting everything now. That's the problem. Yeah, something is wrong with my logic here. Let's check. I said replace it with an empty space. Now where is that code? There's the update. I generate a random value between, if it's less than or equals to the chance, then replace. Okay, yeah. I didn't check. I didn't do a condition that checks if it is that specific feature before changing it. The chance,
Just
what does the chance destroying the tower? So if it is a tower, so I need to look for only towers.
for the towers and
Yeah,
then
if this is a tower, then replace that with an empty space.
with an empty space.
Yeah, so where's the tower? It's,
It's the hash.
yeah. Why is it not replacing the towers?
It's replacing the trees.
Yeah, it's replacing the trees. Oh, I think I should do it like this. I think I know why. The update should be called like after the movements and everything. That's when it should be called, not every single movement. Because now it's going to keep updating every single time. That means it's going to keep putting those empty spaces after every single movement. It needs to execute when I've moved at least once. So after the switch statement, I think that should be fine after the switch statement here. That's where the update should go. I'm not sure if it's just going to fix it, but let's see. Yeah.
Keeps deleting.
What is the problem? Is it the update? That's the question. Or maybe it's here. Is there anywhere where I set it to an empty space? No, it's not here. Yeah, there's nowhere where I set it to an empty space here. So it's the update function. Let's just do this for now. It's not the update, then I don't know. Yeah, it has to be the update, you see?
Update.
And then let's say if you move into a tower, right? Or what? What is that? You move into
Charges. The bit.
yeah, it charges by 1, you see? It's charging. You see it's going up now.
The drone is not moving. Is it moving?
Yeah, it is moving, but remember that it can't delete it, it can't occupy it. So I am moving, but it's not replacing that location. Right now, I'm currently moving to the right? So it can't occupy it. Right now, all I'm doing is moving to the right. All I'm moving is moving to this location here. So it won't occupy it, but look at the battery charge. It's increasing, né?
It's increasing.
Yeah, because that's what it's supposed to do. Like that, right? And then I'm gonna move. Okay, see now it's decreasing after every single movement. You're losing 1 unit. And then you go down, you're losing 1 unit. Let's say you decide to do a scan. Where's the scan? It's F, right? Scan, and then there it is. They say if you move to a, it won't collect it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to move. We need to we didn't include the empty space movement because now I've bumped into an empty space and it's not moving it. So I need to say this. And then move the destination to an empty space, to a drone, and then the previous location, make that an empty space. Because this else part, it means that I'm dealing with empty spaces. So where's the drone? Okay, there you are. So let's charge. Move up. Come on. Move up, charge. Just want to charge for now. So that when you make movements. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to choose to initiate the scan, right? They said if you move towards it, right, what should happen? You should do something. Let's see. Okay, it does collect. It shouldn't be collecting it.
Because
Yeah, it shouldn't collecting it because I haven't stated whether I want to collect it. It shouldn't collect it.
but it's collecting it.
Unless if okay, what's going on else? Unless okay, let me just stop saying else. Else is like every other thing, even if I move into a even if I move into a map piece, I don't want it to be that generic. Let me just say if I move into an empty space. Empty space. Yeah, so now it only move when there's moved into an empty space. So let's go and charge. Charge. Yeah, so now let's move down, then move diagonally, and then choose to initiate a scan. And then so that I can see the features and then move. And then, yeah, you see now it's no longer doing anything.
Not correctly.
Yeah, but let's say I choose to collect, right? Let me say I enter option G. It's to collect, right? So now it's true. So let me try to collect it. Boom, it has collected. But I also didn't add, I didn't change the previous. I think something. I didn't put the previous. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't say the previous location. Yeah, but yeah, the game is working. It is working. The previous should be what? Wait, if I move to, yeah, I think the previous is going to be a problem. What will I set the previous to? Oh, but yeah, if I initiate a scan, the previous is going to be an empty space. Hypothetically speaking, if you check, I'm going to initiate a scan, right? And then I'm going to try collect. It doesn't collect. But you see, look at where I am right now. It's empty spaces. Empty spaces. And then, okay, it changes that. Yeah, it changes that to, okay. Changes that to this. Okay, let's move. Okay, let's move up. It won't move because I haven't decided to collect. Collect map piece and then move up. It collects. So the previous should, I'm just going to make it that. But the previous should be, I don't know what the previous should be. Because I want it to be whatever character the user, whatever character is there in the game. I want it to be like that. Okay, I'm gonna add the code. So let's just try to initiate. They said initiating a scan removes the trees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to remove the trees. So initiate scan. There it is. Okay. Yeah, my game is the one. So let's see. So for this part, right, the previous, let's see. I need to know, okay, the destination. Oh, so the previous is the drone, right? So I need to choose what the previous should be. So I'm just gonna set the previous to a tree. You just set it to a tree or an empty space, one of those. Either one of them should be fine. But yeah, either one of them should be fine. So we have that case. Now we need to do the end game. Wait, collecting a map piece, they said it's 2 units, right? I forgot to check. You see, there's the 2 units. I forgot to check. So let's check something here. Let's initiate a scan. It's only going to do that, right? They said collecting.
A map piece.
Okay, before. Okay, let me charge it a bit. And then move. Okay, let's move diagonally. So like that. Oh, okay, I need to say I want to collect it first. So G, I want to collect it. They say collecting it to you get 2 units, right? So after moving, it's going to subtract 1. So I'm going to be left with 26. And then on that 26, add 2 units. So the answer should be 28.
Yeah.
So let's move.
Yeah, it's 29.
Oh, okay, it's fine. It's fine because
It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's 29, 27 plus 2. I thought it was gonna subtract first
And
for
then
moving,
add.
but it shouldn't subtract. Think about it because it's this condition. So this is the only one that we execute. So it won't subtract. It's only going to add at the current value. So it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. So I think that we're done with our game. We just left with the success. And then we show them that, yeah, even though the instructions were not clear, we're able to kill this thing. What about, okay, what about the percentage chance? Yeah, I think that's working. But yeah, that's how you write that chance. Just generate a random value between 1 and 100. excuse me, a percentage basically. If that percentage happens to be less than or equal to what you're expecting, then you make the necessary changes. So the game succeeds when the user successfully collects all the map pieces. So what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to create a variable inside the record structure for counting the map pieces. I'm going to call it int count, right? Wait, no. We have num map pieces.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that every time I collect, I subtract 1. So that's what I'm going to do. Recworld dot int num map pieces subtract 1 every time you collect, because you have collected a map piece. So subtract 1 from the overall. There's -1 num pieces existing now since I've collected 1 out of the total. So I've removed 1 out of the total. So I need to say -1. Yeah, it's just simple logic. The game fails when the drone runs out of battery charge. Oh, okay. So we are done. Basically, we are done. So before I delete, I don't know, should I say delete memory? Yeah, before delete memory. Deleting, it means I remove everything that's there, so I won't have access to the information. So, okay, the update was a problem. Yeah, we commented in that. Yeah, the update, I really don't know what they want. Yeah, the update is just somehow. But yeah, let's see. So I'm gonna have an if statement that checks if recworld.int num map pieces is equals to 0. That means we have collected, right, everything. So it should output a success message. Do that, then end line, and then I'm just gonna copy this again. Copy, come on, paste, and then in between this, I'm gonna have cout. Then I'm gonna have congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations. You have collected all the map pieces. Right, and then you're gonna have an end line character there. So I need to fix this and okay, come on. Okay, I'm gonna have that, and then now I need to have spaces there. There we go. Congratulations, you have collected all the map pieces! Exclamation mark, Nyana. And then I'm gonna copy all of this, all 3 lines, and I'm gonna have a, okay, so it should set the Boolean condition to false because the game is over. Congratulations, game is over. Or else if the recworld dot battery charge, they say the battery charge is equals to 0, right? You're out of battery, basically. The game is over. Oops. You are out of battery charge. Game over. Yeah. Just says, oops, you're out of battery charge, game over. And then I think that should also set the Boolean expression to false. Yeah, this should work. Now let's deal with the update. Ish. With the update, like, what do they want? I don't know now. We did the right thing. We're checking if it is a tower. Let me see. I think I should start by saying if I have moved. Let me see. Movement. Wait. Let's see. I think I need to rephrase that. Let's see the update. Command line define percentage change that each individual charging the tower may be destroyed.
Sorry.
Each individual charging the tower may be destroyed by the indigenous people living in the jungle. Or each individual charging tower, not each individual charging the tower. each individual, each individual charging tower may be destroyed
Hey,
by the
Murare.
indigenous people living in the jungle. How can it be destroyed? Let's see. How can it be destroyed? I don't want to affect everything that's there. I only want to change that space, like one charging tower at a time. Let's see. Each charging tower. Thing is, it's open-ended. You can't really be sure how the update should be implemented. You're not really sure because it's not clear. They just say there's a chance that each individual charging tower can be destroyed.
With the indigenous people.
So I don't know whether we should go through. Yeah, but I think the way I did it, it's fine. But
Yeah, they,
just you generate a chance, right? And if the chance happened to be less than or equal to that chance, the percentage happens to be less than or equal to that chance that you're looking for. And I said the chance is 5, right? Yeah, it's 5. I check if I see a tower, what should happen to the tower? It should be replaced with an empty space. It should be destroyed. So should I say empty space or tree? Let's just say empty space because the trees are occupying stuff. So let's just say empty space. And then down here, I think we're also gonna have to say empty space. Yeah, we can say trees. Trees are their own features. I'm just gonna say empty space. And let's see. Yeah, this should be working fine. It's working perfect. Generate if it happens to be. Then if it's a charging tower, that charging tower should be replaced with that. You said a charging tower is a what? A hash symbol, right? So it should only be changing the hash symbols. That's all it should be doing. So let's see. Move up, move left. You see the hash symbols are still there. That's my main concern. The hash symbols are still there. I think it should go through every single row, right? Or yeah, every single row that the drone is in, and then generates a chance, and then it destroys that within that row. What do you think?
huh?
Like, I'm going to only focus on the row that the drone is in. So let's say the row is in this drone, right? That's where it is. It's gonna look for a charging tower, and then it's going to remove that charging tower only in that row, based on that chance. That's the update. That's
That's
what I
the
was.
update.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Uh, Yeah, this is not the right thing. It's greeting even the player, the drone. But let me think. How can you destroy the charging tower? Where would you actually have to place the update? That's the question. Where would you have to place the update? There's a user defined, there's a command line defined percentage chance for that each individual charging tower may be destroyed. May be destroyed. I'm not sure how we can. I'm not really not sure how we're gonna do this. This chance
This
thing.
update.
Yeah, this chance thingy. I'm not sure how we're gonna do it. If it was a bit straightforward, like clear. Here, all they're saying is just there's a chance that it can be destroyed. Okay, am I destroying everything? Or am I only generating and then going through every single map piece, every single charging tower, I mean, and destroying it, or choosing specific charging towers. I don't know how that's gonna work. So each individual charging tower. Uh, so should it be, what should it be? Yeah, the update does not make sure here. I don't know what they want to the update. Okay, yeah, remember with the rows and what are the players, what, right? You can actually, since we realize it's complicated creating another record structure, right? You can just do this. You can just say int p row. You can store it like this, int p column. So from now on, just do it like that. It's easier because now when you pass this by reference, it means that you can actually change this information. Yeah, so you can do it like that. So that means you won't technically you won't need the function for finding the drone because you can't store the drone. So it's going to be that row, and then I'm going to show you just now that it's going to work now. Int p column is going to be int quad, right? And then let's make things simpler. No more find drone function. No more this. No more you. Wait, okay, yeah, no more you. And then no more find, no more that. So here I'm gonna need the players row, right? So I'm gonna have rec world that int hero. Then I'm gonna have this, change that to int hero. And then I'm gonna have this. That's gonna change to int p core. Have this change to int p core. Yeah, you see our code is becoming neater and neater. Then there's the update. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, there's the drone. I don't need this. All I need is this, p column. Yusuf and
Declared identifier imperial.
oh, I think it's down there, right? It's showing me an error that's down there. So I'm gonna have this int p column is now rec world dot int p call, right? And then what about the other one down there? We're gonna do the same thing. Int p call, and then int p row. empty column like this. And then there's something that we need to change now. We need to update this row and column, right? Because we don't have the find player or the find row function. So I need to keep updating it so that I can reference to its updated location. So I'm only gonna put in the if statements whereby I actually update, right? So I'm going to say that row is now equal to the destination row. And then that column is equals to destination column, like this, right?
Mm.
And then I'm going to check in other functions where I place this feature. Then I'm gonna do that, update the drone's location. And then here, update the drone's location. Update the drone's location like this. So you see, I don't have to put in find player function. It's going to work this exact same way. So let's move up, move there. You see, it's moving perfectly fine. The only problem is just the update function. Yeah, so that you see what I was talking about. That problem is that we couldn't pass that drone structure by reference. I was
Yeah.
passing only the game world. That's why it wasn't working. You see now, can move in any direction with no issues. Oh yeah, oops, you're out of battery, charge, game over. Yeah, but this should be 0. So what I'm going to do, right? I wanted to what is this? I wanted to evaluate after outputting. So after displaying, so it needs to display the new information so that the user can see that it's actually now 0. So after in this, it outputs this. If it doesn't need to output, it's just going to get the next input and then continue. So let me show you. So let's move up, move left. Okay, move. I want to reuse all of this. Then
Better.
E, yeah, you see now. It starts at 0. It displays 0 and then shows this. But the problem now is still getting input. This is the part that I need to kind of fix. How would I fix that part? Let me see. Okay. So what I can do, right? I can exit the program when I get to this point. So I can exit with success here. Congratulations, right? Exit. Exit what? Exit with success. Status code so 0. And then here, I'm gonna have a feature as one of the status codes. And so that means if I'm adding 1, I must add 1 there. So this one I'm gonna call it what is this? Game over. Game over status code. So that the application can actually exit once that once those conditions have been met, you run out of this, you successfully did that, it must exit. Okay, I don't want to charge the tower. I don't want to go to the charging tower. Wait, why isn't it? Oh, there's things hidden. That's why it's not moving. Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Oops, you're out of, and then it exits. You see, it stops. So I wanted to fix that so it exits. If it doesn't have to exit, it's gonna keep getting input. So the first thing I need to do is to exit the loop here. After exiting the loop, okay, since it doesn't want to exit the loop there, we don't need to use that. We just need to use the exit. Because of the exit, it exits everything, the whole program. So we have that information there. The update now, just for this application to be perfect, missing update. Update, man. Update. There's a command line percentage chance that each individual charging tower may be destroyed. That chance, how are we going to link those two things? The chance with the charging tower, and I wanted to destroy that specific charging tower. So let's see. For every single, let me see. Okay, let's use the chance like this. So okay, not in the about here. So we're gonna have this. So I'm gonna do this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rows and columns, right? And then I'm going to, I don't know what, I want to try something. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Then I'm gonna have generate random, right? A random column, right? In between 0 and record.incalls -1. If that's less than or equals to the chance, okay, the chance is inside the record structure, so I need to say record.int chance. If that's less than or equal to, and then it generates, it replaces that, but it's random. That's the thing. What are the odds of it being at that location? It being a charging tower. But it was, to be honest, it was supposed to say, because most of the time, if it has to be chance, it says that each row, something like that, each row, it has a chance of having this, having that. It does say that sometimes. But now we don't know whether it's each row. Okay, that each individual. Oh, I think I kind of see. So you keep, I don't know how you're gonna code it though, but I just had sort of like an idea, because they said there's a chance that each feature, each charging tower may be destroyed, right? Each of them, they have their own chance. So you're gonna start with the first one, with the first charging tower, and then let's say the overall chance is 20, and then let's say you starts at 5%, and then it moves on to another tower. It's now at 10%. Moves on to another one. It's now at 15%. Moves on to another one. It's now at 20, and 20 is is the chance of it being destroyed. So this one is the one that now becomes destroyed.
Destroyed.
Yeah. So sort of something like that. But let me see. This is how they handle the chance, right? In the tutorials. This is how they showed you the chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you generate a random value between 1 and 100, né? So let's see.
Yeah. Computer science.
Oh, okay, let's do it like this. So let's start with by checking if it's the tower. Game mode, each tower, right, is equals to tower. If it is a tower, check the chance, right, generate a random value between 1 and 100. If it's less than or equals to record that int chance, then replace that current tower with an empty space. Okay, there should be some. Let's see if it's going to work at least.
I hope it works.
So move up. I don't even see whether this thing is working or not. But it's not output. Okay, it should replace the empty spaces.
Which option are you? Move down.
Oh yeah, it did. It's perfect now, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happened to generate within the right range, and it only changed that one. So my code was fine. The only problem was the way I was structuring it. Okay, something is not right here. There's something here. Yeah, so initiate scan. Exactly. Yeah, this game. It's nice, but it takes time to get to this level. But yeah, you see, it also generated another chance, right? You see there. And it's only updating one thing at a time. So the game is now complete, 100% perfect. So the thing is here, what you need to start with, you need to say, if I am currently at a tower, generate a random value, a random percentage between 1 and 100. If that happens to be less than or equals to chance, remember we are leaving it to chance. It's like probability. I'm saying randomly generate, right? And then check if it's equals to that chance. If it is equals to that chance, change that to an empty space. It's that simple. And then we have our game. So let's check the success. Okay, I think I need to restart it. Let's check the success. So I need to move. Okay, let's move to this. I want to charge here. Okay, the charging towers are disappearing. Kwanje, if you want to, I need to do a scan first. And then I need to say G, collect map pieces, right? That's G. But something is not right with the updates. Did we take into account the collect map pieces? Did we do that?
No.
Move drone wants to collect. Oh yeah, it wants to collect. Let's see. But there it is, Mus. I did. Why is it not? Wait, is that the ones to collect? Yeah. Oh, the ones to collect it adds 2. Where's the one that subtracts? That is 3, right? It has 3 units. I don't know what it's saying here. There was 3 units, 1 unit and something. Scanning. Yeah, scanning. Yeah, remember what scanning. It subtracts 3 units. Let's see. There it is. You need to subtract 3 units. And let's see if it's within the if statement. Yeah, it is. So if it has scan, that means it's true, right? You want to scan. Replace the tree with an empty space, right? And then set the battery charge to subtracted by -3. Where's the reveal map pieces? It's called after, yeah, when you scan. So let's check that. So let's say I want to scan, right? Yeah, it is subtracting 3. Okay, that's perfect. So let's move. And then it won't do anything, right? So let me say G to collect. Yeah, logic. if you have your logic planned out properly, yeah, you're gonna be safe.
You will win.
Yeah, before the charging towers disappear. Yeah, so I have enough movements, right? I want to do the success. We've seen the failure, right? When it fails, collect, 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 and then move diagonally. Move, move.
6.
Done. I've collected everything. Congratulations, you've collected all the map pieces. Done. Okay, why is it doing this? I don't know why it's doing that. Didn't I use the correct clear screen thing? Let's crash. Let's make it fail. 0. Oops, you are out of battery charge. Game over. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's this. It's either this tool that I'm using or something is wrong with the CLS part, right? You should say clear screen. Let's see. Maybe the clear screen isn't working properly. I said CLS. Let's say clear.
Clear.
Let's see. Okay, the clear is working. CLS is working. Yeah. Clear is not a recognized internal. Yeah, it is. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah. A win is a win. A win is a win. It's working. A win is a win. We're gonna play like that. Move, 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 move. Charging tower. Yeah, there's the game. So I'm gonna send it to you now and the recording. So let me fix something here. So now I've seen everything. I'm just gonna put this so that it's readable. It's human readable. And 9 and 9 and 9 and 9 and 9 and 9 and 9. Yeah, there we go. Let's see the output. It's going to be long as expected. And yeah, there it is. So yeah, you understand everything, nah?
Yeah, but it was a lot.
Yeah, with the record structures, but imagine if you use them properly like this, you'd get bonus marks. So you'd get how many bonus?
But I think they're fine. The record structure.
Yeah, they're not bad. They are very good because now you're gonna have less code. Imagine with movements, with updates, you have to pass the array, the 2D array, with its rows, with its columns, and the extra things that you want to pass. So if you create a record structure, it makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, 3 hours. It's not looking good,
It
bro.
was 3 hours.